Tiny twerk hinging. I really don't have a better name for this, but it's something that really makes sense to me, so I wanted to share it with you too. All right, we all know what a twerk is, and in case you don't, a twerk is when you are able to really extend at the lumbar spine and flex at the lumbar spine quickly, okay? So something like this right here. All right, there we go. I twerked for y'all. Oh my God. Okay, moving on. When we lack the ability to do that, a lot of times that means we are really compressed at the lumbar spine, or we are lacking the ability of our sacrum to nutate. So that just means the base of the sacrum, so kind of like right here, to be able to tip forward a bit. When the base of the sacrum can tip forward a bit, that means that the area in between your sits bones and literally around your butthole can widen and lengthen. When the sacrum can't tip forward a tiny bit, then we stay really kind of gripped right underneath here. All right, this is where tiny twerks come in. When you are deadlifting or really doing anything with a hinge, it should be kind of like a tiny twerk. By tiny, I mean tiny, because we don't want to be over twerked, okay? So this right here, you can see where I've really lost the connection with my ribs. They're kind of flaring out over here, and it's just too much. It's too much right in here, and I can feel it. That does not feel good. Conversely, we don't want to be too straight. So I made you guys a video on that where you lost all the curve right here. So there is a difference between being too straight and being tucked under. So tucked under means that you visually have a curve where it's kind of rounding down and under, okay? So we don't want this right here. We don't want too straight, and we also don't want over twerked. This is where the tiny twerk comes in. So I want you to look at yourselves in a mirror and see if you have a tiny twerk. If you have a tiny twerk in your hinge, that means you're doing it right, okay? Remember, a really great hinge means that you have knees over the midfoot. We don't want the knee right over the ankle because that's going to really pull more on this distal hamstring right here, and we want the hamstrings to be evenly loaded between proximal and distal, okay? So knee over midfoot, heavy, heavy heels. You don't need to be leaning forward. Then we are going to get that tiny twerk. So exhale, and you're just going to lift your butt, just lift your sit bones ever so slightly, because as you get deeper into that hinge, you need to be able to feel your butt essentially bloom into your hands. I know that seems like a funny analogy as well. We're talking about twerking and flowers at the same time, but whatever works, okay? So that butt literally in this position right here, when you take an inhale, you need to be able to feel movement into your hands. Literally, inhale, you should feel your glutes kind of go whoop into your hands. All right, so make sure you've got a tiny twerk in your hinge and you'll be doing it right.